knife in hand, a long blade with the steel slightly curved at the end, forming a partial curlicue. He stood there in plain sight in her driveway, staring up at her second-story window, repeatedly slamming the blade into the side of her car as he stared at her. Lights on, blinds and window open. She was staring right back at him. She was done hiding and done being scared by this bastard. She knew who it was, even if he was wearing a ski mask. It was undeniable. She had already dialed the police, and they were on their way. But due to the history with this doucher, she felt secure in knowing he would just get another slap on the wrist. Another chance to come after her. Another series of moving and changing her number and hiding. It was enough. Not this time. This ends tonight. This fucker is going to jail for my murder, or he is going away in a bag. Everyone has a tipping point, and this was hers.
What are you waiting for, asshole?
She yelled down to him through her open window. She had set it up so he had an open invitation to end it all or be ended himself. By the way he was hesitating, she could tell he knew what she was thinking. 3 years. 3 years of this fucker tormenting her. Her fear had turned to frustration, then anger, and now pure hate. Once a work acquaintance with whom she had one conversation with. After which, she started receiving secret admirer notes. At first, in all honesty, were kind of sweet, and nice to think someone thought so kindly of her. That did not last long. One note, once in a while, turned into daily notes on her desk at work. Then her car. Then her house. And the notes had went from sweet and endearing to extremely sexual and violent. The police could do nothing as of yet. So she decided to move. Which didn't help and even escalated the situation by now receiving the notes inside of her house after several break-ins. No evidence. No one to catch. She moved. Again. And again. After the fourth move, the police finally got a lead and discovered who the person was. He was arrested at work. However, due to sloppy investigations, leading to a lack of evidence and a great lawyer, he got out and resumed his activities in pursuit of her. This made things worse than she could imagine. Non-stop calls, pounding on the door at random intervals during the night, break-ins. She wasn't sleeping or eating. She started to stay at friends' places, per police suggestion, and an installation of a camera at her place to try and get a clear shot of him and his actions. He was too smart for that. She wasn't safe at friends' places either, which led them to ask her to leave for their own safety. This all took place over the span of a year. Finally, at the suggestion of her mother, she decided to quit her job and move back to Indiana with her mother, where she grew up. Try and get her mind and life back together in the safety and shelter of home. Her old room was a welcome sight. She had moved to New Mexico after completing her master's and had to take the only real job offer she had gotten. She made the difficult decision and left everything and everyone she knew to start her grown-up life. She thought to herself, now I am right back where I started. Sort of. The move wasn't all in vain. She had gained some great experience in her 7 years away, but after everything that went down, her mother started spreading the word that her daughter was looking for work and came back to a better job offer than she had left for. Everything was working out, she thought. Stalker Douche had made the mistake of parking his car in the wrong spot upon his last adventure in pursuit of her, which led to a search of his car, where they found rope, duct tape, shovel, garbage bags, and other things I really didn't want to know about. That's how the police worded it. So he finally got some time for that. 1 year. And it took him an entire year of tracking her down, sending letters to all of her old addresses. Who gives a stalker the right to send mail in jail, by the way? Which then got forwarded. It was her mother who accidentally tipped him off. Upon checking the mail, she saw his lovely correspondence and sealed it up and wrote "Return to sender" on it. For some reason, he could tell what town it had been forwarded to and returned from. The additional bummer to that was now she had one less piece of evidence. She knew he was coming for her. She spent months, weeks, days, minutes waiting for him. Waiting for this shit to end. She was never a violent person. But when someone constantly intrudes on your life, it can change you. Add in the protective feeling she had for her mother, and she knew it had to be her to end it all. Funny thing about all this, if someone wants to get to you, they will. They can pay other people to drive by your house, check on you, spy on you at work, the grocery store, the gym, you name it. People seem to be money whores. However, thankfully there was one person who wasn't afraid of him and told him to fuck off when he approached her to ask for information on me, or to find out what she could about me. I grew up here. I made the mistake of not knowing that part and had asked one of my oldest friends. She immediately snapped a picture of him and called the police. The phone was still dialing when she felt a sharp pain across her head. Stalker Douche had punched her in the side of the head and took off. The police came, took a statement, saw the pic, got up to speed, and were on track to catch this wacko at first opportunity. It felt so great that so many had her back when before she moved home, and this all went down, she felt so alone. It didn't matter. She had been tormented for too long. Not sleeping or eating right for 3 years can really mess with your mind. Or Get it right. She hadn't decided that part yet. Snap back to him still just fucking standing there in her driveway, not moving. As if he had waited for this moment for so long, he didn't even know what to do. She shrugged her shoulders and nodded repeatedly, nope. Then started yelling, nope! Down to the cycle, slamming at the car.
Nope. I'm not going to do this for one more goddamn day afraid of you. Let you chase me or having you follow me. Just no.
Beside herself with rage or just a pure psychotic break, she lifted her leg to climb out of her window. Stalker douche froze, as if he couldn't believe his prize was going to come right to him. She was now standing on the roof of her garage, ready to climb down. He took a step forward, and she could hear him breathing from 50 feet away, as if his excitement was building. He took a few more steps. He was enormous, which meant even a few steps took him immensely closer to her. With the distance closing, she started to climb down the trellis. He stopped walking and then started jogging in place, like a boxer before a fight. 20 feet from each other. She hopped down onto the pavement of the driveway. He froze and poised his arms out to his sides like he was going to tackle her. She crouched, ready to pounce. Just then, bright lights blinded them both, and a loud bang, more like a boom, deafened her momentarily. She covered her head in pure reflex, and when she looked up, he was down in the driveway, unmoving. And there stood her mother with a smoking shotgun. She looked at her mother with shock and relief, accompanied with gratitude. They hugged and waited for the police that they could hear in the distance. It was finally over.